Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vasset here at Outdoors with V. Welcome to this quick and informative episode. Today, we are talking about freeze-dried meals. I've had quite a few people reach out via Instagram, via email, via the comments, and I'd like to take some time today to answer some of those questions. What do I like to bring with me on the trail when I'm backpacking? What are my preferences? I'm going to talk about 4 companies today. Let's get started. Let's get started with Pinnacle Foods. So on my left here, I have the Italian sausage and zesty tomato sauce. And then on my right, I have the jalapeno cheddar biscuits and herb sausage gravy. These 2 meals are incredibly delicious. Pinnacle Foods does a really good job. You can order these at pinnaclefoods.com. Again, they do a phenomenal job with these bagged meals. Customer service is second to none. They're very easy to communicate with, and they really don't take very long, at least in my experience, to be delivered to your home. When I purchased these, they were delivered within 2 to 3 days, which is pretty impressive. The jalapeno cheddar biscuits and herb sausage gravy, these are so good. I first tried these on a backpacking trip back in January of 2022. When I first tried them, it blew me away at how incredibly tasty and delicious these were. So very impressed by that one. In terms of the Italian sausage and zesty tomato sauce flavor, this is a pasta with Parmesan. Very, very good. If you're in the mood for pasta by Pinnacle Foods, this is definitely the one to get. Next, we're going to talk about Backpacker's Pantry. On my right, you have the fettuccine alfredo with chicken. And then on my left, you have the pad thai with chicken. These 2, extremely delicious for Backpacker's Pantry. These are my go-to flavors. You've seen me enjoy this one here, the fettuccine alfredo with chicken, on this channel about 3 or 4 times. As a matter of fact, on my last, let's see here, second to last adventure, it was a backpacking trip in the Allegheny Mountains, and I selected this one as my dinner. Absolutely incredible. I always have a great experience when eating this flavor. As far as the pad thai with chicken, if I'm in the mood for noodles, if I'm in the mood for something Asian, you all know I love Asian cuisine. My family is Cambodian. This is my go-to for Asian flavors by Backpacker's Pantry. Next, we're going to talk about Peak Refuel. Now, one thing I'll say about Peak Refuel, like one thing that just stands out every time I enjoy these bagged meals, is that when you rehydrate these, there's a ton of food in these bags. I mean, you can even feel how heavy they are. In terms of these 2 flavors, I have the sweet pork and rice, and I have the chicken coconut curry. I really enjoy this. There's nothing really quite like it, in my opinion, out of all of the brands. It's just got a really unique flavor, a very aromatic, just robust flavor. It's just very... there's a lot going on in there, but it's a good thing. So the carrots, the rice, the chicken really complements the curry, and on a cold night, it's absolutely perfect. So the chicken coconut curry, very well done by Peak Refuel. And then lastly, by Peak Refuel, again, the sweet pork and rice. There's so much food, again, in these bags. But in particular, like out of the 2, this one has the most. I mean, there is so much left in here. Every time I've had this one, I've had it on a few backpacking trips. I mean, I never finish it. I end up eating it the next day. So I'll usually bring Peak Refuel meals on cold trips. That way I know they'll stay fresh, when I close them up to enjoy the next day. So very good. Lastly, the ever so popular, the ever so like always on hand, always everywhere you see in terms of like going to recreational stores, outdoor stores. You can find these at Dick's Sporting Goods, Target sometimes, Walmart, REI, Cabela's, Bass Pro, wherever. Mountain House adventure meals. You'll see them everywhere. Like if you are on the go and you gotta get some meals, Mountain House is the way to go. I have the lasagna and meat sauce. I have the beef stew. These are my 2 favorites, but they have a ton of flavors. And so these are my go-tos for Mountain House. All right, everybody, I have placed the bagged meals back in front of me here. I have talked about my go-tos, my preferences for each company, from each company. And if I had to choose just a meal, a brand moving forward for any backpacking trip, if I just had to choose one, it would be Backpackers Pantry. The reason why, it's pretty simple. I'm going to flash the cost for each of these meals. But I would say that in terms of cost, in terms of the amount of food you get, in terms of not having too much left over like peak refuel and having to save it or waste it potentially, I would say Backpackers Pantry is probably the best choice. Taste, cost, the amount of food, not too much, not too little. You're going to be full. You're going to be satisfied. Backpackers Pantry. I hope this episode answered everyone's questions regarding my preferences for backpacking meals. And I also hope that anyone out there that is trying to make a decision on which meal to bring with them, I hope this answered your question as well. In terms of other brands, if you don't prefer any of these and you want to share with the community about which backpacking meal you prefer and which backpacking meal you enjoy, please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Or if you too have experienced these meals, what do you think? Comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, of course, there are other elements, other components that make these meals possible to eat. There's cook systems, there's water, there's storage, so on and so forth. I plan on doing a series of episodes that describes and talks about those components. With that said, I'd like to thank all of you for joining me on this episode today. If you enjoyed the episode, if you liked everything you heard and saw, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And please also subscribe for future episodes. I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend, and I hope you have a successful and productive week coming up. Till next time, everyone, take care.